Welcome back to Primetime News, and a special welcome to those of you watching online at onespotmedia.com. Outrage this evening as the plight of a security guard who was injured on the job almost 20 years ago continues to drag on. TVJ News first highlighted Ferdinand Britton's case in February. Despite a court order that he be compensated, this is yet to materialize. Now, one sociologist believes this type of injustice gives rise to lawlessness. Former security guard Ferdinand Britton was shot while on the job in 2000. Seeking compensation, he took his employer's Shalk Security Limited to court and was awarded compensation in 2008. But with neither Shalk Security Limited nor his lawyer, Henry Charles Johnson, acting on the ruling years after, he reported the matter to the entity that oversees practicing attorneys, the General Legal Counsel, GLC. They not only ruled in Mr. Britton's favor, but in 2014 dismissed an appeal from the attorney challenging the ruling. Despite all that, Mr. Britton has not heard from the company or the attorney. Now, 19 years later, the only directive from the GLC is for Mr. Britton to get another lawyer to sue his previous lawyer and do the process all over again. A gross injustice for Mr. Britton, who continues to beg for help.
If there is anybody in this world, the Jamaica, foreign or abroad, that can assist me to take me out of this destruction, this injustice, this pain, and all of this grief that I am going through.
He insists that the legal system has failed him. Head of the Sociology Department at the University of the West Indies, Mona, and RJR 94 FM's hotline host, Dr. Orville Taylor, agrees.
Of course the system has failed him. But one of my regular comments that I make, and I'm very firm on this, is that an unjust society and an unjust set of men can create a society that is just.
Dr. Taylor says reading through the documents on Mr. Britton's case and the outcome was difficult and painful.
But this hurts me. It hurts me because people who are doing the right thing must ultimately benefit. And we have seen too much of that. Because there is something that happens to you as an individual when you are cheated. Put yourself in the position.
Since the original story in February, we have also been trying to get answers on the case. We wrote to the GLC on the matter, but communications ended with a letter stating that they are prevented from disclosing details on the complaint and pointed to the judgment handed down by the disciplinary committee on the 15th of November 2014. It also echoed the directive Mr. Britton told us that he is to take action to enforce this decision in the Supreme Court. For Dr. Taylor, the results and directives are indicative of a squaddy mentality that's prevalent in the justice system he calls toothless and needs fixing.
Because we have this written rule and unwritten rule about how people need to obey the rules in society, obey the general guidelines. So don't take justice in your own hand, whatever justice might be. You hear that you must not do the jungle justice, or because there's no jungle and justice at the same time. You hear that? Just apply and get an attorney. Yeah, get an attorney. The attorneys know the law, and that perhaps is part of the problem.
It's also appalling that the incident, which happened in early 2000, is still not settled almost 2 decades later. For Dr. Taylor, it's a typical case of justice delayed being justice denied.
2002? This is ridiculous. So tell me now, what does that say to the rest of the society? You tell me. So you may win a small battle, but ultimately, the war against inequality, the war against violence, the war against homicide in this country is not going to be won, because you have to start at the little level where you create a system where the little man believes that he can go up against the big man, and simply because the rules say that he's entitled to something, he gets it.
He also believes immediate assistance should be provided for this and other similar cases. He also suggests that the oversight of the attorneys should be taken from the GLC, which is run by lawyers, to be monitored by a body that reports to Parliament. Efforts to reach out to Shalk Security Limited failed as our phone calls went unanswered.